I was from musical background and like political background, so it was political science background. So I felt like that there was room for this into thinking dance and into performing dance. It's not about like doing the best show ever, but like just being, I don't know, most sincere on whatever we're trying to achieve or get or find. And this is the most interesting part, because then you can share it for real and people can make something out of it. I'm always talking about awareness, because even in my shows I'm trying to like let the audience stay aware of whatever is my strategies to seduce them, or like so they can just like play with that. And I think these are tools also that they can like bring in their own life, like about awareness. But I'm being said like that, I feel like a guru and like just like I'm teaching you how to live things, but it's more about trying to understand whatever the multiple like possibilities of an artwork. Like I'm showing something, but I'm giving my perspective or an invented perspective, and just like to change things up. And then sometimes we're a little screwed because we don't know what to think. But then that's it. You'll think about it later. I would like to say that this show is about beauty, but this is like too complicated. So I asked the question of beauty, and I was like, what can I do that's just simply beautiful? And I won't judge. And I found the task impossible. Like just for me, it was just like
Isn't it too easy just to make something beautiful? Also?
Yeah, that's why I just like that's why I tried to do it, because I said I think it would be really easy, but then I realized it wasn't, because I couldn't do it. I was like always judgmental, and always about judging why do I find this beautiful? Isn't like really lame? Isn't really like simple? It's really like naive. But these questions were really interesting. So that's the process. So that's why it's called Usually Beauty Fails, because it's like it failed convincing me. But at the same time, it's not because it failed convincing me that I'm not searching for it forever. If you realize that you're like being manipulated, and then sometimes seduced, and then sometimes you're back to your own life, and this thing is I think it's important to get through in a performance. If you're just like amazed and like stunned by a magnificent work of art, maybe then you lost your time, because you were not really live in the process. We're just like staying there. I'm trying to show perspective. I'm trying to be critic. I'm trying the audience to have a perspective and be critical. And at the same time, I want to seduce them, and I want to be critical about the fact that I want to seduce them, and I want them to be critical about the fact that they want to be seduced and they don't also. So searching for all these things to happen, then it will fail.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to do too much thing at the same time, so we'll fail in every way. So that's about that also. But I think all my shows are now about failure, of this kind of failure. Like we won't really be able to close this, so it will always be like, yeah. maybe it's a postmodern way to do art, to say like, you're not going to really explain it, you have to do whatever sense you have. And I'm a little, I don't really like this way of thinking, because it's kind of like it's kind of, you don't really assume it. You're like, I did that, but
because you don't know how much time you have. So again, it's like when you lose it. That's it. That's the time you had. So it puts quite a pressure on a director like me, because the time you spend with us, you'll never have it back. So better be worth it. Could have been at the circus or elsewhere. So it's like
it's a live experience. So the artist is there. So it's not a big leap. It's not a big leap to just give him a microphone and he says, "We're here in the performance." So I'm trying to, but I always did that. Like, it's been a while I'm doing. Like, it's been 10 years I'm doing this kind of just being in the performance and like talk about it and talk about the not the process, but whatever I'm trying to achieve and whatever maybe people are seeing. But I'm just playing with the perspective on the work. And of course, sometimes it can be really anti-climax, because I'm not leaving the audience alone, just seeing an object. I'm there to say, oh, I have this to say about that. And then it can be annoying, and at the same time it could be seducing. I don't know. Depends on people. Mixing things it makes it not easy, but it makes things happen. And then you have to cope, or you have to catch whatever is happening. And it's not about like trying to dig deep down whatever I have to say. It's more about like, I thought about this thing, maybe we could try it. And then we tried, and then Stéphane, who's like composer of majority of the music, is like, we'll have this song, and then I thought about that. You talked to me about this concept, and I wrote this, and then what about that? And then sometimes it leads to another dance scene, because the music is not for this, but it could work for something else. So this is kind of a dialogue with everybody. So I'm not a technical dancer, or like I'm not a virtuosic dancer. I know dance, and I know music, so I know these things, and I know about theater. But it's when you get into like working, it's kind of obvious and it's simple to just, not simple, but it leads to really interesting stuff. Sometimes it's not like as worked on or as crafted as I would like it to be, but
Totally synced up.
Yeah, it's like, and I get it. I get it because I don't craft it too much, because I have to let some room for music. So it's about dialogue.
Yeah, but it's fine.
I might throw up in my mouth if I have to look at him. Okay, excuse-moi, tu veux pas... Il faut qu'on regarde David.
Stéphane?
Mais les deux marchent pas. Donc
Il était sec, c'est ça qui était là.
And then I just got stuck in it. And then...
We try to let this as live as it can be. So it means that sometimes, like, some transitions are like, oh, this was not the best we did, but if we set everything up, then I think we'll like be bored of doing this. So it's about finding balance. So we still have fun doing it, but we still know whatever we're doing. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
So this is a whole process. So lots of things in the show are improv. But of course, this is risky, and this is like a way to approach performance also. So the audience has to be really aware of that and ready for the fact that it won't like. So we know where we're heading, but this will happen. Something will happen there, and then we know how to wrap it up. It's not a rock concert at all, but it's just nice to play with that thing, because I think that the audience will get the fact that we're playing with references, and this is like a reference we're playing with. It's about doing a set with whatever is in the theater. So this is a thing made to be in a theater, and then like to feel that we're still in the theater. Other companies are playing a lot with this. There's no set, like the lights are the set, and so it brings this precise aesthetic to the work. We could still be conceptual, even if we like playing with rock and roll elements or references. And what's interesting with rock and roll or pop references is like people get it. Like a lot of, even if you don't, if you're not into pop, you don't like it, you're submerged. Like you're drawn into.
You know the frame.
And into pop culture. You cannot like do like if there was no pop culture. Like even if you don't listen to commercial radio, you have to listen to. If you just like go in a coffee place, there is music, and then you. So that's why it's interesting with pop culture is that it's a reference that everybody gets. It's also about showing this kind of a love and hate relationship with pop music or pop culture. I'm always amazed of pop culture, but lots of things I really don't like about that.
So you hijack it in a way.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever can I take from my fascination of it, and what can I make out of it?
I strive for you, baby, oh fairy, in the wishing well. You left my shoe.
If we just take the music by itself, it's sometimes so stupid. Like we really did it. We really did this. This is really like a pop song, and it's so stupid. And sometimes it's even more stupid than whenever like really simple pop song can be. But sometimes pop is amazing. So I'm not saying that like all the pop music is stupid or simple. It's just like when we just take whatever we did as music, we're like, oh, we really did that. So it's weird to see, but as itself. But with the show, with the references, with like the performance and with dancers, it's kind of just it works. It works because it's but sometimes we're just taking something out and like, okay, this as itself is really weird. So that's why I'm saying like pop, we're borrowing from pop, but we will not assume just doing that will be weird for us. We'll have to work on it, like to be convinced on how to. We have to assume whatever we're doing. So it's always find strategies to assume that we're still working on something, or we're just not taking it for granted or anything.